Welcome to Nisyros, the aspiring UNESCO geopark located along the South Asian volcanic arc in Greece. Now, Nisyros is the youngest volcano found along this arc and is home to spectacular volcanic activity still to this day. This activity can be witnessed in the form of hydrothermal activity, so there's active fumaroles, there's thermal springs, and there's lots of vents releasing steam and gases, and there's a lot of yellow sulfur around the craters. Along with this amazing geology, Nisyros is also home to spectacular biodiversity, culture and history, and all of these components make up the geopark that is seen today. In today's video, we're going to focus on dynamic Earth and really explore those volcanic craters together that were formed hundreds of years ago in hydrothermal eruptions. We will witness the volcanic activity that is still happening and look at the steam and gases being released and just the amazing spectacle that is active volcanism. So my name's Emma Cieslak-Jones and I'm a master's student studying geoconservation, and I'm here today at the aspiring UNESCO geopark known as Nisyros. So Nisyros is located in the southeastern Asian Sea in Greece, and it was formed from volcanic activity approximately 160,000 years ago. Now, this volcanic activity mixed with human interaction is why we have a park like we do today. And to my left here you can see this amazing Stefanos crater, which is known worldwide and is actually one of the largest in Europe. Now, this was formed through hydrothermal activity many years ago, and Nisyros is still active. Before we go into the Stefanos crater, I wanted to show you the true size of it through a bird's eye point of view. Now, Stefanos is ginormous, and this is why it's one of the world's biggest hydrothermal craters. And round the edge of the crater you can see the layer upon layer of lava deposits that help tell a story about what happened on Nisyros many years ago when this island was formed, and how it has shaped and been shaped by ongoing volcanism and also more recently human activity as well. So Stefanos is home to a lot of hydrothermal activity, and the central area is gated off because these are large fumaroles and a lot of boiling water and mud can be seen inside them. We don't know how deep these fumaroles go, but there is a lot of heat coming out of them and a lot of thermal activity. The yellow colour around the edge is the sulfur that is being released through this hot steam and gases and through the fumarole vents. So I'm now inside the craters, and to my left here we can see Stefanos. So you saw it from the bird's eye view, and now you are literally inside it. So the size of this crater is humongous. So it's 27 meters deep and then about 260 meters by 350. So it's really large scale. And you might be able to see the kind of greeny yellowish color. Now, that is sulfur. So if you're here in person, you'll smell kind of like a foul egg type of smell. If you've ever smelled sulfur before, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this is the gas from the fumaroles. So the fumaroles here can get to about 96 to 100 degrees Celsius. And in the center of the crater here, there's actually an area that it is too hot to go near. So for safety reasons, certain places we're not going to explore, but we should be able to see some of the activity in this crater. So this is hydrothermal activity. So it is active. So we'll be seeing some fumaroles in a second of some gases and steam and stuff coming out from this volcano. Then to my right, we have the younger Stefanos crater. So this is the smaller one. And we can see that there's quite a lot of vegetation in this one, and that's because you might know that volcanic activity, it makes very fertile ground, so plants love it. So you can see here that it's much smaller than the larger Stefanos, but it's got lots of vegetation. So we're now going to head really into the larger crater and see some fumaroles. So you can literally feel the heat coming from the ground here. So that is coming from the fumaroles, and it just tells you that this is an active volcano still. So we're going to check out the fumaroles now. So we're going to follow the edge around here. So we're looking for that kind of where the sulfur is very concentrated, and that's where it's being released as steam and gases. So we can see some over here. So we can see some of the fumaroles here. So these ones aren't smoking, but you can see the amazing sulfur formation, and it kind of looks like thorns and spikes. And then the one over here is smoking. I'm not sure if my camera will be able to pick it up for you guys, but if we take a look, you might just be able to see the heat and gas coming out of this one. So here we have another very active one, so you might be able to see, well, you'll definitely be able to see just how much sulfur is at the base here. So it almost looks like yellow snow. So if you have a look, it kind of has that furry appearance, and this is letting off a lot of steam. You might be able to see it over here. Just like that. So it's hard to capture just how much steam and gas is coming off of these fumaroles, but there is a lot. Maybe if I zoom in for you guys here, look at that. It's just spectacular to see. It really is, and I'd be curious to know how hot these are, you know, to actually put a thermometer inside them. So maybe that's something for the future, but how amazing is that to see? Behind me you can see this is roped off for a reason. So this is the hottest part in the crater, so this is too hot for us to go near, and you can see there's a lot more steam coming off of these fumaroles than the smaller ones we saw earlier. So the temperatures here are, you know, around the 100 degrees mark, so very, very hot. And talking about the Greek mythology I mentioned earlier, this is the anger of Polyvotis, that giant I told you that Poseidon killed with a piece of cos. So if you remember, he threw it at Polyvotis, killing the giant, and the giant was so angry. That's why there's a volcano here, because it's all that anger inside of Polyvotis, and why it's still active today. So you could say this is the epicenter of Polyvotis, and still to this day he's bubbling away with anger.